This body of work is based on the surrounding land where I currently live here in Spain, in the countryside. And so one thing I've been thinking about a lot when making this work is the concept of home and what that feels like and what that looks like in terms of color. I've also been thinking a lot about motherhood and how that has caused me to slow down and kind of rediscover our surroundings in the world through the eyes of my child. And so I want these works to feel familiar, to feel warm and welcoming, which is kind of what I think of as home. But then I also want them to have that kind of sense of wonder, like from a child's perspective. I knew when I started this body of work that I wanted the chickens to be the star of the show. And because the paintings are void of humans, it kind of opened up the space for the chickens to be the protagonists. So my daughter, who's a little over 1 year old now, is completely obsessed with our chickens. We have 5 that we keep in our backyard, and so all of these chickens are based on the ones we have at home. And so I've spent a lot of time outside with her at a low vantage point, observing the chickens, following them around. And one of the things that I noticed is that they're actually rather regal and rather elegant, the way they walk around and the poses they assume. And they have this like bright red crown. So I wanted to depict these chickens from that perspective and present them as kind of regal and feminine and somewhat maternal. Texture and materiality are really important to my work. My painting surfaces are unique in that I build them up with a variety of materials, including foam, pumice, perlite. And so all of the paintings start off as a kind of a low relief sculpture with a very textural surface, and then I proceed to painting on top of that. What that allows me to do is it gives the paintings kind of a organic, coarse, earthy feel that I start out with, and detail is really unattainable when working on this surface, and so it softens the paintings, it muffles the images, and it makes them more about conveying a feeling than depicting any sort of detail. My color palette evolves depending on the subject that I'm painting, depending on what I'm painting. And so for this series, there's a lot of pinks, purples, oranges, yellows, kind of warm, kind of feminine colors. That's because, to me, these colors feel warm, inviting, welcoming, familiar, and a little bit otherworldly, because I want them to have a little bit of that magic that children see the world through. So it's kind of like seeing the world through their rose-colored glasses. I'm Camilla Marie Dahl, and I'm a painter and sculptor currently living and working in Spain.